Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the Daily Market Insight for Thursday, the 19th of August. All right, just having a look at what's going through in the Asian session. It's pretty clear where direction's coming from. The Fed minutes yesterday, dollar hits 9-month highs, Fed on track to taper this year. Now, there's a little bit of rumblings in the Fed who wants to taper and who doesn't. That's pretty standard practice at this point. So, but they have said they're on target. So now if unemployment continues to grow or get better, then they are going to be in a position to start tapering, and that's positive for the US dollar. So that's going to be a negative, right? When you come back and look at the major markets, it's going to be a negative for the equity markets. Okay, they're going to go down. The dollar block, euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi lower, and the dollar higher. It's a pretty simple concept to grab, even if you haven't got that much experience. Today, what's happening in the Asian session? Well, if you have a look at the US equity futures, they're a little bit lower. That puts that pressure on the downside on euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, and the dollar pairs rallying. Now, just on top of that too, like you're going to be, I'm super confident where these things are going, primarily because it's coming from the Fed. At the start of the week, it was a bit geopolitical, the dollar strength. Now it's coming, being pushed along by the core fundamentals, the Fed. So that's a good thing. And the dollar is rallying. Aussie numbers, a little bit better on the employment side, but there's so much negativity with regards to lockdowns. Looks like Australia's going to be locked down till at least December. That's going to be huge. Obviously, no economic growth, huge unemployment, etc. So that's going to send that pair lower for sure. Now, just having a look at the major pairs, you can see here, like it's pretty plain and simple to see. Aussie, Kiwi, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, sorry, all heading south. And if you're looking at the dollar block, all heading to the top side. Now, this is not the hard part of trading. We've got direction, right? So when you're looking at that framework, you're like, okay, that's great. What do we do now? Well, you've got to find suitable risk-friendly areas to get into the pairs. And at the moment, a lot of these currencies don't have clear entry levels, as in they don't have any support or resistance around to sort of get back into the trade. So you're either getting into the trade with a massive stop loss, right? And if you haven't got a massive stop loss, your position size is going to be small, or you jump in and try and pick it off and hope, which is not a good thing for trading, that, that you don't get stopped out before it keeps going. Now, one saving grace in this situation is we know the dollar's rallying, right? So we've got pairs here. We've got the economic numbers. They haven't been as electrifying as they usually are, but one thing is for sure, strong US numbers, right, will push the dollar higher. Now, that release can be your entry level. That's where momentum will start from. That gets you into the trade, right? Outside of that, what I would suggest, if you haven't already done so, is have a quick look at your daily charts, because there's a few levels going around here that you can potentially take action plans on, right? Euro, previous lows down here around 116, the figure. Now, I know it's 75 points above it, but that's pretty much the only level. If you're looking at those bull bear levels on Euro, Aussie, Kiwi, these things are sort of pushing through, and same on the dollar index, right? These pairs becoming, like, this is more important. If you're thinking as a fund manager, these pairs are breaking down for the dollar block and the dollar index is breaking up. There's still a bit of work to done for the dollar Swiss. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my pen. Dollar yen, well, it's just sort of cruising sideways. It doesn't know what to do at this stage, but very clear sign here. I'll tell you what, I like the look of dollar CAD, primarily because oil is finally giving up those gains. I mean, it heads back towards 60 bucks. This thing's going to ignite to the top side. So what you do is, how do you work out what pair to trade? Well, we've got some levels around here, and you can actually, sorry, while I'm there, sterling is got a nice sort of level coming up. It's the odd one out with the dollar block. There's still a bit of euphoria around the vaccinations in the UK. They're going to have all this massive global growth. I can tell you, if the rest of the globe isn't buying, doesn't matter how much they make, there's not going to be any growth in the UK, but it will catch up at some point. So what do we do from here? Now, it's, as I said, it's a bit of a clear-cut thing. You've got to know where to look and what to focus on. Now, with the various markets, you can either come through and look for the relative strength on the pairs. Excuse me. The dollar is the base here, right? You can see all the dollar going up against everything, right? And pretty evenly. So that tells you the move is good. It's solid. Sterling, Well, I'll tell you what, this is the thing, right? It's the odd one out with the dollar block. If you're looking at sterling, you got some bit of a going up, bit mixed on the euro at the moment. Aussie and Kiwi definitely heading south. So focus on the pairs with clear direction, and then you can come back and focus on the pairs where the economic data may impact, especially in the case of euro, Aussie, Kiwi. Negative data will push it to the downside. Even stronger data in those countries will give you a chance to sell, right? You got to think to yourself, I'm not a buyer of those currencies. I'm a buyer of US dollars. I'm selling those currencies. So focus on the dollar US dollar data, I should say. Of course, we've got, the good thing is coming up, not today, but to close the week, we've got UK retail sales. This could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. We've got a nice resistance line or support line there, on the dailies. Now, this is, if that data comes in weak and we're at those levels, it gives you a nice level to sort of, or the market to crunch it through that level and send it to the downside. At the same time, Canadian retail sales, I'll cover this again tomorrow, but we get weak data there. Bang, top side looks pretty awesome as well. So make sure you keep an eye on that. What we were hoping for was really weak Canadian inflation numbers, right? If anything, got a little bit stronger. But I'll tell you what, didn't stop dollar CAD moving to the top side. So that's the thing. The dollar is moving higher. You've got to understand that. Don't look to get short dollars. Look to buy dips or breaks or on data releases where the dollar data is strong. It's going to start moving very easily when we do hit the top side. And let me just give you another look at that dollar index chart, because this is what you have to think of. I know we've been stuck in the doldrums for some time, but if the dollar index sort of breaks through sort of these highs here, we're having sort of pretty much the start of 2021, goes from here, we're looking at like a 700-point move to the top side. Now, we do need other things to fall in line for that to happen, like good US non-farm payrolls next month, good CPI numbers, which seems like they are happening in the US. If it does, we're going to see a really nice trending on the dollar, and this is where it starts right now. All right, so make sure you tune in, get your charts organized, work out your capital allocation, right? Make sure you know where your stop losses are. Don't just guess. That's why you're using the economic numbers to your advantage at this point as your potential entry, because that's where the momentum will start. If you get that first initial move, you'll survive any retracements, and then you're on for the rest of the potential move. Pretty interesting times, hey? It's good to see these currencies moving. Great to see the dollar in control. I know a geopolitical event could blow this out, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Let's focus on the positives. We've got a dollar move to the top side. Let's get on it. Good luck, guys. Cheerio.